if anybody who had any thought that things would get in any way, even a minuscule, a micrometer better once Trump left, should be recognized that it's not gotten better, and I think it has in some ways gotten worse. And you listen to Marjorie Taylor Greene. This is one of these times when you have to be able to hold two things in your head. One of which is that the comments are appalling and disgusting and anti-Semitic. The other is that she's just such a moron that it's not clear to me fully that she understands exactly the depth of how horrible what she's saying is. I mean, when you listen to her talk about it, try to explain it, you come up against the fact that she's just a pinhead. I think she says these things about that draws these comparisons. I don't think she has the moral complexity to understand why Jews find these comments so appalling. I don't think she has the kind of she doesn't have the kind of moral sense to be able to understand how offensive what she's doing is. But I will also say this, which is that yet again when you listen to these comments that someone like this makes, you're reminded of just what a bunch of snowflakes this Republican Party is. The core of her complaint is basically, I think in her head, she somehow believes that being asked to wear a mask on that floor of the House, that there's concerns about, we're trying to still keep people from getting sick, we're worried that some people are not vaccinated, that having mask mandates that continue going forward, she actually thinks in some way there is some equivalence between that and being put on a train and sent to a gas chamber. And beyond, again, the stupidity of it, the moral bankruptcy of it, it is just such an incredibly whiny, kind of ridiculous thing to say. Like, oh, I am so put upon wearing this mask, it's so terrible that I'm going to draw it out. Bankrupt moron at that. You couldn't be more of a snowflake than to complain in that kind of way. It's just, it blows my mind.
It blows my mind too. And Sam Stein, I have something here that you wrote that makes me cry. Ben Rose, John Halvin district. We're free to have policy critiques for everyone, and I will just say this, including the media, is sort of right around this axle of those two things are in conflict. How did we get here? Take your time. It's really important.
I think for starters, lengthy history, obviously, anti-Semitism, cultural bigotry directed towards Jews. You can't simply remove that. But in terms of the modern era and how we're talking about, to talk about Israel, Palestine, or anti-Semitism on these platforms.
That's really the lead here. The buried lead is what we said, heroics or moral clarity necessarily.
To be condemned. And so you see, those who anti-Semitism is all not just in this country but around the world. At the same time, and again, this is part of what is so alarming to people who have this in their family history. As I do, like Sam, some of my family was impacted by the Holocaust. You have this far right trend. Jews will not replace being chained in the streets of Charlottesville, the tree of life shooting, in part because an increasing danger. So I think it's just incumbent on everybody, obviously President Biden.
Violent extremism that is further incentivized by these BS, audits in Arizona. There's a new one sprouting up in Georgia, so they've now got to worry about extremism being animated by new acts that further the big lie. You've got this rise in hate crimes, the Wuhan flu. What does this president do about the mess that the
can bring communities together? And then I think given this kind of challenge, I think when it comes to some of the, even though we may be right with you that she's a member of Congress, and that's why in communities, we're not trying to excuse what she said in any way, shape, or form.
Describing Republicans as feeling terror from their own voters. That feels like a cop-out for why Kevin McCarthy won't deal with Marjorie Taylor Greene, who's been harassing Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, sort of this fountain of anti-Semitism.
He's trying to make a point about the fact that they're I think he's trying to be critical of that. I think, you can't, by using the language of terror, it makes it sound like it's okay. Well, of course you capitulate to terrorists. And that is nothing. That's a career change. That is go work in a Washington law firm, go be a lobbyist, go write a book, go on the speaking circuit, go work for Fox News. There's a million ways to do it, make money. It's all you're talking about is maybe you lose an election. You lose an election, who cares? So when this is on the line, it makes it particularly clear because this is a case where you need to stand up today. is the Republican Party? It's now its basest part of its base, and the basest part of its base is animated. Because once you start to denounce this kind of hate and you take a stand, you're now surrounded by all kinds of hate, and the only thing that runs the GOP is hate. It's now a big giant hate machine. So of course you can't denounce her for this. You'd have to denounce the entire.
Forcing down a commercial airliner under false pretenses, all to arrest an opposition journalist. The story in the swift condemnation by the U.S. and Europe is next. And on the eve of the anniversary of the murder of George Floyd, what has changed and what has not changed in the pursuit of racial justice in this country? Then the White House continues after a quick break. Don't go anywhere.
When it comes to financial decisions, sometimes we need a little help. Credit Karma has always been there for you, and now they want to help even more. Credit Karma Money is a brand new checking account where you can win cash reimbursements every time you shop. When you use Credit Karma Money debit card, you can win daily instant Karma purchase reimbursements on items up to $5,000. Just pay with your debit card, and if you win, you'll be notified on the spot, and your instant Karma cash will be added to your spend account. Right now, visit creditkarma.com/winmoney to open your free account and start winning instant karma. Go to Credit Karma and terms apply. See rules. Banking services provided by MVP Bank Incorporated, member FDIC. Maximum balance and transfer limits applied.
Deb's constipation with belly pain is probably wrong kept giving her grief. She talked to her doctor to get some relief. Turns out Deb had irritable bowel syndrome with constipation or IBS-C, which was a start. Saying yes to Linzess helped her even better.
Should not be given to children 6 to less than 18. It may harm you. Do not take Linzess if you have bowel baggage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. In this county, say yes to Linzess.
Start your job, you immediately get your short list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job criteria. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job.
Ask a simple question. Ask everyone you know what matters to them. Work the angles. Question authority. Favor facts over conspiracies. And trust standards over hearsay. And understand this. This is not
Check this afternoon, European leaders agreed to impose sanctions on Belarus and to bar EU airlines from flying through their airspace following what they're calling a state hijacking of a passenger plane in the section of on its way from Athens to Lithuania when Belarus insisted they'd encountered a bomb threat. Upon landing, surprise, surprise, no bomb, no threat. The Belarusian security officials
Well, he's a journalist who also had a role in helping to retell to advance the pro-democracy movement after the last election in Belarus. And what Lukashenko does, he's basically kind of a poop satellite. And just trying to make examples out on like wow, by being so over the top and so brutal. That's what's happening here. You had someone border plane in Greece on the way to Lithuania, where the Belarusian opposition is largely based these days. And under a completely absurd false pretense, land the plane to detain this guy, where he could be facing severe retribution. I mean, up to a